I'd like to call to order the Whitewater Township meeting for January 16th, 2023. Pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do a roll call, please.
Mr. Pope? Here. Mr. Shively?
Here.
Mr. King?
Here.
Start off with the acceptance of the minutes for the December 19th, 2022 regular meeting of the Board of Trustees.
Also move. I'll second that.
Voice vote, please.
Mr. Pope?
Yay.
Mr. Shively?
Yay.
Mr. King?
Yay.
Acceptance of the minutes for the January 3rd, 2023 organizational meeting of the Board of Trustees.
I'll make a motion to accept.
I'll second it. Voice vote, please.
Mr. Pope?
Yay.
Mr. Shively?
Yay.
Mr. King?
Yay.
Acceptance of the invoices. Did everybody have a chance to look at them?
I did. I'll move on that.
I'll second. Voice vote, please.
Mr. Pope?
Yay.
Mr. Shively?
Yep.
Mr. King?
Yay.
Moving on to the sheriff's report.
Happy New Year to all. Hopefully you had a good holiday. All right, we are dealing with our final month of last year, December 2022. Reports taken. We had one breaking and entering, 8 theft reports, 2 of which were vehicles. We had 3 domestic violence arrests, 2 assaults, 2 telecommunications harassment, a resisting arrest, and obstructing justice, 1 possession of drug paraphernalia. We had a stolen vehicle recovery, 1 of the above-mentioned thefts, 2 ADA cases, and 1 other non-criminal report taken. This brought our grand total up to 23, 8 of which are still active and 15 have been closed. By way of comparison, we had 26 in November, so a slight downturn. We had 26 crash reports in December. We had 36 in November, so a little better driving. Calls for service, we had 346. By way of comparison, we had 363 in November. And just a yearly recap for the reports, we had 315 total reports taken in 2022, which was a significant downturn. We had 358 in 2021, so that's good. Less reports is less activity. We had a total, I did not have a comparison for 2021, but we did have a total of 332 crash reports in the township for this year. And that is my report, unless you guys have something for me.
I do not. Thank you, Sergeant.
I don't have anything either. Keep up the good work. Music to my ears. Thank you, gentlemen.
Stay safe out there.
Yes, sir. Thanks.
Public presentations, we don't have any of those tonight. Moving on to township reports. Fire Department. Evening, sir.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Chief.
Happy New Year to everyone as well. Our run total for the month of December 2022, we had 100 EMS details with 88 patients and 68 transports, 37 fire details for 137 details for the month. We finished out the year with a total of 1,640 details. The EMS details were down 80 from 2021, and the total runs were down 18 from 2021. However, we did have an increase of 62 runs in for the fire runs, which was an increase of 13%. On the vehicle maintenance, the squad that was at Ford for 3 months has finally come back. Can't remember which one it was off the top of my head, but it had an oil leak and some injector issues. They were finally able to get all the parts in, and found out through the process too that they only have 1 diesel mechanic. So that was another reason why it was taking a little longer than expected, because they have other work that was in front of ours. So we are looking into that and trying to rectify that for the future, but that ambulance is finally back. Our staffing for the month of December, no station closures. We had 100% of our shifts covered by the fire department paramedics. And as always, we still are working with WestJet to supplement our paramedic coverage as needed. I learned 2 weeks ago our Assistance to Firefighters grant, the AFG grant through FEMA. The application was denied. Again, we made it all the way through the process, and again, funding ran out. This is the third year in a row that we've made it that far, and they ran out of funding. We did decrease the number of radios that we were asking for on this application, so I'm going to talk with our grant writer and see if perhaps increasing our percentage that we pay from either, we currently put down 5%, so I'm going to see if we increase that to 10 or 15%, if that would help our chances, if they have any opinion on that, and also see if we can tweak it to make the grant look more favorable. So we are going to work on that. The new cycle is open. It opened last week, and typically they're open for about a month, about 30 days. So we're going to get on that. They have the majority of our information for our application. There's just a few things we have to finish up, plus discussing what we can do to make our narrative and our application look better. So the other thing I have is last week we noticed that there's a portion of the bay floor of Miami-Town that was previously repaired prior to the epoxy. It is sinking. This was repaired several years ago. Basically, a new concrete slab was put in the section where a hole was forming, and I'm not sure. I have an idea, but I'm not an engineer by any case, but reached out to Epoxy SI, who purchased epoxy systems. They're still on 128, still in the township. Reached out to them to see if they could come down and take a look at it to see what kind of repair is going to be needed. Just looking at it, this has nothing to do with the epoxy itself. The epoxy is actually still intact in that area. It's just, we've got a section, it's probably 2 by 3, that's just basically sinking. So we're going to get on that and try to stay ahead of that before it becomes a bigger problem. So aside from that, that is all I have, unless you have any questions.
I do not. Thanks, Chief.
Got anything? I don't have anything. Thanks, Chief.
All right, you're welcome.
All right, moving on to the maintenance department. Evening, Josh.
Good evening, Josh.
Let's see, what do we have? I've attached a quote to your packet for the upcoming 2023 mowing season. The last few years, we've used Roush Brothers to cut the properties throughout the township. After speaking with Craig Roush, there will be no price increase to his quote, so it will remain the same as last year. So with permission from the board, I'd like to continue using Roush Brothers for the 2023 grass cutting season. Peggy and I have put together a list of projects we would like to start in 2023, along with the list of projects for the Community Development Block Grant for the years of 2024 through 2026. The board should have received an email on these projects from Peggy. And it has also been brought to our attention that large trucks are using Hill Street to cut through to Ferry Street so that they can make that right-hand turn on the State Route 128. Peggy has also emailed the board on this issue. That's really all I have on it.
I got something to weigh in on that. So
I do too.
I did an own investigation, and I've talked with Josh on this. The roads, I tried to find any reason that they shouldn't be going down that road. And the roads were built to handle the heavy trucks. I also got a hold of Southwest on the school bus issue because they had brought that up, and there's 2 buses that go down there every day. There's 4 stops total, 2 in the morning, 2 in the evening. So there's not a whole bunch of school bus on there, but when I talked to them, they run everybody down Ferry Street. The buses even do, because they said you can't make the turn at the light, which you can't with a big
Right.
straight truck, and it's safer to go down. So from what I've seen with it, I don't know a way that we could stop it, first off, if we wanted, because there's no reason, you gotta have a reason, right? You just can't say, well, we don't want trucks, I think. And the second is in my belief, it's honestly, I think it's safer for them to go down and go out on the ferry to get out on 128. I mean, I think if you force them to make that turn, I think that's going to cause all kinds of backups and problems on the road, I feel.
I contacted Mark Wegman with Cincy Disposal and talked to him about it, and he said his big trucks have to go through Miami Town. He can't make the turn. But I asked him if he can make sure his smaller trucks still use 128 Harrison Avenue.
Gotcha.
And also to make sure that they abide by the speed limit and stop at all the stop signs. You know, that's one of the critical parts, is that they stop. And also, don't send all of them down past the bank, you know, go on past up to Fagley and turn and go down, don't take them all in a line down the same block and up the same road.
Right.
So they're all aware of it, but they're, you know, me being a CDL driver myself, I know that's a bad corner and you don't have a choice.
No, you don't. There's a telephone pole right on
Yeah,
the corner.
there is no option but to go through Miami Town and avoid that intersection if you're wanting to head south on 128.
Yeah. And they just replaced that telephone pole.
You got anything on that?
I do. I sent an email to you two. I responded to it. Is there anything with the state or the county? Can they look into that?
I'm sorry.
State or the county? I sent you an.
Oh, yes.
An email on that.
Yeah,
And is there
I haven't-
something that they can do?
I have no
I mean,
feedback.
that's an issue with them.
Right, correct. And I don't have any, nobody's contacted me back yet, or got
Okay.
back with me.
If you need help on that, let me know.
Okay.
And who you're contacting. I can also contact as well. I know we had an issue with the traffic light at one time at IOK.
Yep,
Let me know. I have no issue reaching out to them, telling them our concerns
Yeah.
and how it could become safety issues. So let me know who I'd rather you try that first,
okay,
because that's going to be an issue with them to see if they can't fix that corner
right.
I mean, it should not be that way. People should have access.
It should. It should be a turning lane, but I don't know whose property they have to steal from, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
let me know
That's-
when you reach out to them. I mean, it takes time, and I have no issue trying to reach out to them as well, tell them what
Okay.
our concerns are as a township.
Will do.
Okay?
Going backwards, does anybody have any questions with this list of things that they proposed to do? I mean, you guys have any questions on that for them?
No, I do not.
I don't
I think it
have,
all looks good.
Okay.
And then on the last, I don't have a problem with I mean, they're keeping the same price. I mean, everything else is going up and they're gonna mow for the same price. I'll make a motion to accept.
we have to do that in old business or new business?
Or here, whatever.
We can do it now? Okay.
Okay, I'll second. I'll second.
Yeah.
Voice vote, please.
Mr. Pope?
Yay.
Mr. Shively?
Yay.
Mr. King?
Yay.
Thank you.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Josh.
Thanks, Josh.
Moving on to the community center. Attendance for between 11/7 of 2022 to 12/9 of 2022. Euchre during the weekdays was 51. Euchre on Friday nights was 43. Chair volleyball was 30. Bluegrass was 60, and country music was 45, for a total of 229. As far as the rentals go, the shelters were closed, and the center has 0. Just a reminder of the programs available at the center: chair volleyball, euchre, bluegrass, and country music. If you have any questions, you can call 513-367-6046 for more information. And always, if we're always looking for ideas for new programs for the center, if anybody has any, they can call Carolyn at 367-6046. That's all I got on that, unless somebody's got a question.
I do not. Nope, thank you.
All right, moving along for the committee reports, Whitewater Township Regional Water and Sewer.
I'm happy to report that we have actually received the $500,000 from Hamilton County. Unfortunately, the county and the way they're handling the Recovery Act money, while we have that money, we don't get to keep the interest. We have to give that back to them. So that's, we were kind of hoping to have that interest money to spend on the project. But anyway, we do have those funds in hand.
We also had applied for a grant through the Ohio EPA for planning and construction work, and we were notified that we did receive that. We should get the funds next month, about $630,000, so that goes towards that next $4.9 million that we need to do the rest of the project. So I'm going to cautiously be optimistic that things are looking really well for a change.
It's going forward at least. It's moving forward. That's awesome.
Good job.
Anybody got any questions? Matt?
No.
Nothing? All right. Moving on to economic development.
Nothing has changed. Hopefully it will with the sewer stuff, so, yeah.
Yeah. We Thrive.
No changes, no meeting.
Okay. Solid waste. I don't have anything new on that. Nothing has come up. How about West Chad?
West Jed had a meeting the first week in January. I was unable to attend, although I did converse with them before and after, and nothing real new there to report.
Okay. Old business, I don't have anything. Has anybody got anything under old business?
I do not.
Under new business, we got Wendy from Miami Town Civic Association. Sorry, we had to put you down there towards the
It's
bottom.
Mindy.
Oh, Mindy, I'm sorry.
For those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Mindy Levens. I own a Touch of Heaven Beauty and Wellness Spa in Miami-Town, and I own Heavenly Boutique, the women's clothing and accessories in Miami-Town. I'm also the president of Miami-Town Improving Civic Association for the second year. We wanted to bring to this meeting some information that's been given to us to follow up with you guys on the Ferry Street and Hill Street. It is not just about big trucks used in that area. It's the fact that the kids are waiting for the school bus as they're blowing by them. That is the importance of something being done in that area. Parents are contacting me through Facebook and emails wanting to know, why does their child have to stand there as these trucks are blowing by the stop sign and not stopping? And why the speed limit is not being enforced in that area. There has been a great deal this past year with the county trying to get the speed limit under control in Miami-Town on 128, not those back streets. So that was the main concern of bringing up what's going on in that back street, was because the kids are standing there getting off the bus and on the bus twice a day, literally in danger. So maybe even if a sign could be put up that they can't go between certain hours while those kids are waiting for the bus, they can use that any time of the day except for that time when the kids are there. Because we've actually the parents have talked to Southwest Local about moving the bus stop, and they're not. So if they're not moving the bus stop, is there something else we can do? So that was one of the things we wanted to talk about. Another that we wanted to talk about is just a follow-up to see if there was any more information about possibly blacktopping the Main Street areas there that the Whitewater Township owns, so that it will give us more parking down there. And possibly, we had a meeting and we talked about if landscaping could be added in that area, we would take care of it. We were talking about possibly putting a sign back in Miami-Town to give information to the town and the area about upcoming events and things that are going on. And we actually thought some of the township properties right there on Ferry Street, that we take care of the landscaping for you, that could we possibly put a sign there that would give this information to the town and the area. I'm not sure if you're aware that Diane has stepped away from Miami Town Improvement Civic Association. She's concentrating on the Historical Society, so anything that is related to Miami Town, I'm going to be representing it, or one of my representatives, which is Linda's with me today. And the only other thing that we want to say is the Pet Palooza was such a great success last year, we're having it again, but we're going to do it for one day. We're going to have it on June 24th, and we would like permission to close Hill Street and Ferry Street, but we would like to close it on the day before so that we can go out and mark the spots for the crafters and vendors and get our stage in place and do all that safely without compromising our own safety by the cars and stuff. The bank has given us permission to use their lot and to close it off, so we just need permission from you guys.
So you want to close it off the 23rd and 24th?
Yes. which we had it closed for 2.5 days this past year, but we only do 2 days this year, one to market and one to actually do the event.
Yeah, I have no issue on.
We don't have
20
any motion or nothing.
No.
23rd and 24th, I don't, I mean, do you?
It's fine.
And that's Ferry and Hill Street?
Yes.
As long as it's not one of the
It's
businesses.
not the
with that.
entire area of Hill Street, it's just over there by Dip Stickies.
As long as it's not going to affect one of the businesses, you know, like if somebody,
Right, and the one that would be affected was, well, it was Dip Stickies, but he said by that time they're outside, mostly not inside. And the other would be the bank, and we got permission from them and how we were going to do it with them.
yeah, as long as it's not affecting nobody down there. fine with me.
What time on the 23rd are you planning on? I'm trying
I've
to-
not discussed with the committee who's going to be marking off for the crackers and
Yeah, 'cause it's a
vendors yet.
Friday, so-
Yeah, but we thought because it's a Friday, that maybe we do it around 3 o'clock, giving the bank the majority of the day, and then half of that bank parking would be marked off, so that they could, like, from Hill Street to, I just forgot the name of the road that goes, it's like an alley behind the bank. We'd close that off, and then from 3 to 5, the front part of the bank would be open, and then we'd close it up after the bank closed.
Yeah,
As long as the bank's good with it, I don't
yeah.
have a problem with it
As
at all.
long as the business is.
The only problem I would have with it is closing Ferry and Hill. We'd revert back to the trucks not being able to make the turn at Harrison and 128. Closing it on Friday, I would want to look into it further and make sure that there's still a way for the trucks during Friday's business. You know, the Miami Town Auto Parts, there's quite a few businesses up.
We closed it last year, but we closed it after the bank closed.
Yeah, because I just want to make sure that Friday's business day is covered before it's closed off.
Could they leave Hill just open till later, till like?
Yeah, or close Ferry,
Close
but leave
Ferry,
Hill
leave Hill
open.
Till
or-
do it like a little
Yeah.
bit later on in the
Okay.
day, the second section of it.
What do you think,
That's-
like 5 o'clock on,
I'd say 5:30 maybe. And pretty much everybody's done by then, right?
don't matter to me, that's,
Can we do it that way?
Yeah.
Can we just leave Hill open till like 5 or 5:30?
I think we can do that, yeah, because we're not putting crafters and vendors on the hill. We were just,
okay. Well,
yeah, we were closing it for the safety, because we're bringing in the stage, which is going to block that area. So we could just make sure it's back a little bit.
Okay.
Okay.
That's good. So, I'm going to back up, and I'm probably going to ask you, because there was a lot of things there, my brain works slow. The first thing, as far as the school, but I had talked to them down there, but where would they like to move the bus stop to that would make it better?
They might give me suggestions of where it would make it better.
Can you get me that, and then I guess I can talk to them and see if they can move it? I mean,
Now, as I drive around in that area, I see them like coming down off Miami View, they're flying through there, and they've put a speed bump there, but sometimes they're not stopping at that stop sign, so I don't know if that's would be a safer area.
Officer, he's, sorry, he's here, and he's going to look into it. He's going to give them a note, right, to check in to watch that area a little bit better,
Right.
as far as that goes.
Right.
you
There's
know.
got to be somewhere
I mean,
that's safe.
I sit down there and I watch almost every car, everything rolls that stop sign.
Yeah.
I'm just, it's
Well,
not
last
just
year when we were
patrol.
setting up for the Pep Palooza, one of the trucks almost got me as I was crossing,
Yeah.
so it happens.
We'll look into that and see. But I would like to know if you can find out where they'd like to move it. If you guys think it's a better spot, I could call them and see if maybe they'll move that, and maybe that'll help with some of the situation. As far as totally closing it off or trying to close it off during certain hours or whatever, once again, I mean, to me, it's a hard thing to swallow because a lot of them guys they're paying tax money to drive on the streets. They're paying, just as much as us and everything else. Now, that doesn't give them the right to break the laws, but to be able to go down there and say, listen, no trucks on the street, to me, you have to have a reason. I can't just, if he drives a big truck and that's how he gets through, I can't just say, you know what, I decided I don't want your truck on my street. There has to be a reason. You have to say the road's not capable of handling it, or to me, I don't know legally how it is, but to me, I don't want to look at somebody and be like, I'm just singling you guys out, all you trucks. You can't use that street. But they still pay the same tax money as everybody else. I'm just saying it's a hard.
Right, I see where you're coming from. The safety of
we
the
need to
children is
control
what's
it.
the most important, and...
I see a lot of people in cars roll that and fly down through
I
it, trust
agree.
me. I spent a lot of hours standing right there on that road, and they come off of Harrison Avenue, man, and they shoot down through there. I feel you, I know what you're saying. What was the next thing you had on
We
there?
talked about possibly adding landscape if you guys would do, if you were going to blacktop the parking over on Main Street.
We had done a lot of stuff on that, and we could put some more together. That is, to do that, we did a lot of research last year, and it is we got to put in, what did we have to put in, like, a bunch of water retention and a bunch of other stuff, wasn't it? I mean, it was going to be extraordinary expensive.
And we were also going to lose parking because of it, right? Because if you identify the parking, it had to be bigger spaces, or in the way they were laid out, they couldn't be where they all were, that you would actually lose parking if you blacktop it.
Well, considering we don't really have any parking over there.
I mean, Josh did a big thing. I mean, could you put it together?
We're talking about on the side that was where Abney's building was, not, you already did the other, like you did not the side where the church and stuff and where WestJet, but on the other side.
Is that where you were originally looking at?
That whole, all of Maine.
Yeah, all of Maine.
It was mirroring, the idea was to mirror Ferry,
Correct.
and by moving telephone poles, fire hydrants, the cost of the blacktop milling and all that, it was very steep. I don't have those numbers, I do have them, but I don't have them with me. It was very, very steep.
We had looked into it, and it was going to be crazy, because he spent a lot of time on looking into it, and it was going to be really expensive.
Engineers come down, survey it, and it was.
Yeah,
We were just hoping with all the new businesses moving in that we could offer more parking, especially with all
yeah,
the
but it was
construction
actually
going on
hurting
down by Wendy's and everything else that's happening.
Yeah. And maybe down the road, if those guys start coming in, we can get some more money, but it was, I don't forget what the numbers were, but it was crazy how much it was.
I can't remember, but when I say steep, 500,000 plus?
yeah, I remember it was over $500,000 to do that.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Okay. The other thing was a township sign being put in the landscaping at Ferry Street.
Down at Ferry. Is it just we just wanted to put a Whitewater Township?
We want to put a sign where we can put the letters and give the information, change the
That's-
messages, and
Is that something you want the township to pay for?
this is something that we are willing to pay for. We need permission from you guys to put it in township property.
Can you put something together, like, for me, I don't know about you guys, but like, just like where you would put it and how it would be and like the size of it?
Yeah,
And then we'll look at that?
okay.
I mean, I'm all for looking at it, just gotta look at, just to see.
On Ferry, on the opposite side of the bank?
Correct.
And the first corner?
Correct.
On 128?
Yes.
Might
Just-
have to also get a hold of state with the right of way right there, just to make sure it's okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So put something together, like where it would be, the size, da-da-da-da-da.
Gotcha.
And then we can have him look into it, make sure it's,
We can see who we need to contact there as
Yeah.
well to make sure.
As a state.
Because that was one of the things we reviewed in our last meeting. They wanted to put beautification stuff up, and I was like, I got to find out, what we're allowed to do and what
Yeah,
we're not
yeah,
allowed to
for
do. Like, what kind of signs can we put up and down sidewalks? It's just like,
I'm all about doing
Especially when
whatever.
you're that close to the state roads and
Yeah.
everything, yeah, we need to.
So where that sidewalk is, and the landscaping starts behind, that's still right away for the state? On Ferry Street, that landscaping that you guys have, that's still right away for the state right there?
I don't know, we
The
can-
sidewalks are state right of way, so I don't.
But the actual landscaping is, I have to get a hold of state for that?
No, it should be township, but we have to be sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you just put something together, just, it don't have to be nothing real crazy, just an idea about house size and stuff, and then we'll make sure first that it's.
Yeah, we'll make sure Josh knows exactly where you're talking about, and then we'll.
Okay.
I'm all for making anything,
Yeah,
do anything better
absolutely.
for, I mean, 100%. Even the parking, I mean, if we could do it, it would be great, and I'll talk to Josh about it again, but I just know that was some crazy number, and that was the only reason. It
And,
wasn't like-
and just to help you out too, with the whole bus and the children and trucks, that's an issue that we need to bring up with county, state, whoever, of why something needs to be done down there, so.
As far as the corner goes.
And
That's
again, that's
kind of the
just.
response I've been making to them, that, they need to contact this person, this.
Yeah.
But I told them I would stay up with you guys.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I have.
Thank you.
Okay,
You guys
yep,
got
thank you.
anything
No.
Thank you, Mindy.
else? Thanks. All right, that was under the comments.
Yep.
So I'd make a motion to go into executive session to consider employment and compensation of the public employees of the officials in the fire department.
And I'll second that, 7:30.
I can make a motion to come out of executive session.
I'll second that motion.
Voice vote?
Mr. Pope,
Yay.
Mr. Shively,
Yay.
and Mr. King.
Yay.
That's at 8:23.
Oh, I should have said the time, sorry.
That's all right, I got it.
So, after we were discussing back there, it's my opinion, I feel like we need to proceed forward with opening the whole contract so we can get get it going, and so we can get our guys paid and get their raises to them and get moving forward with that. It seems like we just need to open it all up and get going.
I agree with that, and I'll make a motion. I'd like to make a motion that the chief starts the 2024 contract negotiations, open it up as soon as he can.
I'll second that. Voice vote, please.
Mr. Pope,
Yay.
Mr. Shively,
Yay.
Mr. King.
Yay.
Any other comments from the board?
I do not. I'll make a
I
motion.
do not.
to
I would
adjourn.
like to make a motion, we adjourn.
Okay, I'll second that.
Voice vote, please.
Mr. Pope,
Yay.
Mr. Shively,
Yay.
Mr. King.
Yeah. See,